Right, so this will be the first of my various assorted engineer guides for the payload maps. I'm just going to go through what I do at the start of one and show you sort of building positions and on the various points. Starting on first, I'm going to put down a sentry, a teleporter and a dispenser as quickly as possible, grabbing the metal from up here for the dispenser, which I put by the health kit. My loadout will vary between the Rescue Ranger, the Wrangler and the Wrench, or you can use the Southern Hospitality or the Jag. Stock shotgun's fine. You can use the Frontier Justice, which is something I occasionally do. All of these are perfectly acceptable for these various sort of points. If you want the best, arguably the best loadout, you'll go with the Rescue Ranger and Southern Hospitality and Wrangler. The Wrangler, I'd basically say the Wrangler's a must on every map because it's a. For instance, this position, you've got the hill area up there. You've got to have the Wrangler to actually hit up there, and the left here. It won't cover the entirety of the left. So you can see from that, I got a level 1 dispenser, a level 1 teleporter, and a level 1 or level 3 sentry. So this is the basic setup for first point. I will show it in actual action on a sort of pub upward at some point. So second next. Say you're coming out of second after dying on first, let's say. And there are occasionally times where I'll get out of first because it's kind of roughly done, I apologise, but you know, just out of play. Generally I'll stand about somewhat here, and if you've got enough metal on first, you can occasionally pull out of the point, and I personally will put a sentry about here because it covers that side at the front. It doesn't cover this side tunnel, that's the flaw with this position. I particularly would highly recommend sort of putting one here to stall them a little bit, because nobody expects a sentry to be right here straight away, and it'll get you a good few kills, and then you want to fall back to second. Or if your team moves up with you, feel free to build a teleporter exit about here and a dispenser about here, and as long as someone covers this side passage, they're going to have quite a hard time getting, well, the flaw with that is obviously the cart track. They can just run it around the sentry. But generally, it's very hard to cap second point unless they have that upper ground up there, so they'd be fighting an uphill battle the entire time. There's this left area, but pyros will just push people off. Second point, say you're coming out fresh. I've got 200 metal, so we'll consider it. Say I've come from the other direction. I put a sentry about here. Go for the 100. Build a dispenser. Get that to level 1. Make sure it's up fully. The main thing you have to watch from this point is people coming out of that window above you. You can somewhat circumvent that with the Wrangler and a level 3 by shoving rockets up there. However, that's obviously not the easiest thing in the world to do. There's the other problem of spies just walking up and sapping your sentry. There's not all that much you can do about it other than hope your teammates are paying attention and knock the sappers off. As you can see, I can get rockets in there just about. It's a bit of an awkward angle and it does expose you a little bit. You can move it closer, but obviously if you're standing here with the Rescue Ranger and spamming bolts, unless it's the sticky bomb launcher that puts down like 8, you can have a pretty easy time of blocking it with the Wrangler and the Rescue Ranger. Another problem with this point is the direct hit, but you don't see it all that often in pubs. In comp it's a nightmare, but that's a different matter altogether. The soldier will get focused if you call for it to be done. No point bothering with telly on second. It's not really, doesn't have much point. Third's an odd beast because it's too far away to cover. If you build on the cart track itself, you are sniper fodder, and being pubs, there'll be at least 4 of them standing over there, and unless you're incredibly good at dodging, you're going to get either body shot or headshot to death. So I'll generally build about here on third. I will put my dispenser here so I've got somewhere to fall back to and it's behind cover and stuff. The Only flaw with this one, it's kind of hard to get enough metal to get built up. So if the enemy team is steamrolling you and you died on second and it took a long time for you to respawn, you don't really have time to get enough metal. Depending on what the situation is here, I'll either stay here, wait for the 100 and the dispenser's metal, or I will go back to spawn, and I'll generally build a teleporter entrance. It seems kind of pointless, I know, but it does get your team here slightly quicker than walking, especially if it's a heavy or something like that. Prioritising the sentry gun is my personal preference, and then doing the dispenser in between sort of fights, because they'll peak generally about there, and the cart itself is amazing cover on this point. It's very difficult to shove rockets around the side of it. I will hopefully show this depending on how the defense of first and second takes, but I will strive to get footage of every single point, and I'll edit it in after the end of this. So that's basically all of the first, second, and third points. I'm going to like extend this using console commands because I'm a cheeseball. So because you're so close to spawn here, there's no metal pack, and you have to keep going back for metal, which can be a pain in the arse. And if your team is getting rolled, it can be very difficult to actually get a gun up to any decent level here. One of the better things you can do with the rescue ranger is that you'll keep the sentry up without using any metal, and let only the ammo empty itself, because these things have got 150 rounds in, which is more than enough to hold. It'll kill, I don't know, about 20 scouts with that many. That's a rough estimate. Bullet does 16. Scouts 125. I could do the math, but I'm not going to, because I'm tired and it's early in the morning. I personally put a dispenser here because it's very difficult to get at you without either sapping or sort of noticing, or well, shooting or sapping the sentry, or the dispenser, sorry. And of course it provides you with the required metal, and you can hop over it with a crouch jump, but unless they're using the invis watch, they're going to have a very hard time getting behind you, because you can check it, sort of go from the gun and back and gun to get the metal, and then sort of repair and upgrade as you go. If I'm pinned in here and I've just put down the dispenser, I will generally keep about 100 metal in reserve, enough to repair that if it gets completely destroyed, to sort of, if there's an uber pop or something. Because the problem with that particular position is that whilst it's good, it takes a little bit of time to look down there, and also it will eat through your metal reserves if it's taking damage, so you want to try and use the rescue ranger as much as possible. Wrangler on this one, it's kind of difficult. You can be spammed out from that particular area where I'm looking in at the moment. If you move the gun slightly to the about here, also that glitch though, you can get a bit more coverage, but you're more open to spam, I believe. Not really, it's about the same. It's quite difficult to cover that area. Hopefully, if your team's got any sort of organisation to it whatsoever, someone will be in that upper area covering the gun from that position, because this covers cart track and to some extent that lower area quite well. So the telly's over there, the dispenser's blocking the door so spies can't get to you, unless there's a direct hit or a demo with the lock and load. This position is nightmarish to take down from without Ubers. Heavies, unless they come all the way around and up and around, are going to have a very hard time with it, even unless teammates are shooting with them with an Uber. At which point you want to wrangle and try and kill the teammates whilst keeping this fixed. You'll go from sort of rescue ranger to wrangler and back again. But other than that, that's about it for defense, to be honest. I don't know how popular these are going to be, but I'll take suggestions and recommendations of potentially other sentry spots and try them out. I will add onto the end of this the various sort of defences of first, second, third and fourth, assuming I can get footage of them, which I will attempt to do in a few moments. I'm going to show one more scumtastic thing that Engineer can do on offense for this third point, and to completely destroy the sentry nest. This is banned in comp because it's cheesy as shit. Nothing to do with this, I'm just showing this off. I need to go into blue. Generally, your bog standard Thompson mini sentry gunslinger engineer who is a massive dick and has nothing but trolliest intentions in the world can attempt to do something like this, and I'm going to probably cut this here and get to third. Right, so you come up here, you're like do spam mini sentry, put one in this bush or that bush over there because Call of Duty Ghosts mini sentry edition. And when third is open, this is a viable thing to do. You go up there, put your dispenser there. Once you've done that, you can hop on top of said dispenser and get a teleporter exit here. These doors close when third gets capped. However, because reasons, the doors will open when a blue player teleports in there, because there's a door here and a door actually on that side. So you can teleport a heavy and a medic in there. Whilst it can be heard and potentially saw coming, it's a very sort of cheap spot, and I'm only showing it because I'm a dick. I don't know. It's an interesting one to sort of completely break that fourth defense, because you'll have players in the upper area of their sort of last defense, and it's obviously very cheesy, but at the same time it's effective, and the teleporter can be heard through the door, and I think soldiers can blow it up. I can't really test that at the moment because I don't have any of my friends on at the moment, because it's 7 AM I think. Yep. I can show you what that looks like real quick, but it will require me to stop and start this, so I'll do that real quick. So as you can see, I've pushed the payload cart up to the old third point. I'm going to use it to get metal off quickly, and then I'm going to stop because it's basically going to cap itself. I'm going to jump over this, get the dispenser up, get the teleporter up. This is only for demonstration purposes. You'd probably put the teleporter entrance at the red's first and second spawn, aka blue's last. And I will show you what it looks like when you come through that teleporter after the third point has been captured. So I'm just going to nudge this over, wait while that builds. So that's that capped, and you take the telly, and you're here. The door's open at the moment, but as you'll see in a second when I go through it, it's completely closed. This is shut off. I think if you build the teleporter entrance slightly closer, the door stays shut, so I'll try and adjust that real quick. And as you can see, I now can't go through that door. So, if you're playing Thompson Mini Sentry Engineer and you feel like being a right royal doucher, you can put the teleporter up there. So as you can see from this, look, it's completely shut. There's no way you can get through there after third's capped other than a telly. And I just blew up the teleporter entrance because I built it in the wrong spot. So they kind of did combat that, but the door does open straight away, so a heavy going through there with a revved up minigun, or a soldier, or someone with stickies or something like that, can potentially completely wipe that nest, or at least kill the engineer. Very cheesy, and a teleporter that's level 3 will put people through in 3 seconds per telly. So that's the end of the sort of preamble sort of stuff. I'll go over the loadout again. You can use pretty much any shotgun, any wrench apart from the gunslinger, obviously, because that builds minis. The Widowmaker and the Thompson I wouldn't recommend, because Thompson's damage is weak and you're already using tools that don't particularly serve your loadout. And the Widowmaker uses your main supply of metal to shoot. But by all means, use whatever shotgun you like. Rescue range is probably the best one, but it's a utility shotgun. You can't really fight with it. I'll probably be using the Frontier Justice just because I have one, and I'm a somewhat decent shot occasionally. And 6 revenge crits are ridiculous. Well, 12 if you've got 6 sentry kills, let's say. Yeah, that's about it. The wrenches you can use Southern Hospitality Jag, stock wrench. It's all personal preference, obviously. But yeah, I will probably combine this with the previous part and I will then merge it with the actual pre-footage of 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, hopefully. But if this sentry spot's any good, and the one at 2nd, arguably on this point 2nd and last are probably the strongest points. 1st and 3rd are somewhat difficult to hold because of the way the cart track's positioned and the way that this one is completely open from spam. You can build up there, but then you've got the entire left side there that snipers can take pot shots at you. Same for this position really. I'll probably see a sniper head peeking over there at some point. It's a very difficult 1st point to hold. 2nd is much better because you've got complete coverage apart from the far, well, right at the moment. There and there. And Ubers can come from the window, but a decent team will be able to hold them back, or a decent team will hold this area. Cart track covers itself because of the central positioning, but the cart can be used as cover to cap 2nd and 3rd. That's what makes 3rd hard to cover, and if you move it any further forward, you risk yourself taking Uber pops from the... I'll just show where real quick. It's all about knowing where potentially attack's going to come and knowing respawns and how aggressive people are. So say you've got an aggressive person, you've got probably maybe about 15-20 seconds to compensate for them coming back. If your sentry gun is further forward than the spot I showed you, it's risking an Uber coming from there, or just coming out of this main door here, because even with the gun as far forward as you like, unless it's here, at which point the entirety of the car tracks for them to spam you out. Any team can still sneak people round this corner around here, and then up and round to the gun itself, right up close. So heavies, pyros even are effective Ubers as long as they don't get pushed back. It's very difficult to counter a pyro Uber unless you have one of your own who knows how to air blast, which is somewhat rare, as I'm sure you all know. Other than that, yeah, I will cut this and put up the setup from the start of 1st point defense. Well, we just lost that round trying to get to 2nd point, so I'm going to attempt to engineer a good defense. Puns. Although we already have another engineer who seems to be experienced, but we'll see how it goes.
Go, go, go! Building the sentry.
Just going to go with the usual comp setup here.
Alrighty then.
See, the centre is slightly out of position, but it should be fine. Get it to level 2, and then I'm going to start working on the dispenser and stuff, I think. We'll see how running without sort of... Oh, but the scout took it. What an asshole. I prefer to do tele next because ideally you want to have teammates coming through at a recent interval, and a level 1 tele takes 10 seconds where a level 2 only takes 5, which isn't as bad. We do sentry up to level 3 and then use the dispenser metal to either upgrade the dispenser or repair the sentry as needed. I'm going to go up and over to grab the 100, which is somewhat risky for snipers, but it seems like the team's got somewhat suppressed, and there's a guy using minis, and my gun's already taking a bit of spam. That's what the rescue range is for, they're just fixing chip damage or fixing any damage in general. So that was the scout with the... Be dead for a bit. You look like a spy, but I'm not going to bother with you because I don't have the weapons for it. I'm just going to get my tele up to level 3.
Keep going.
So is everything upgraded? Now it's just a case of holding this point for 5 minutes. Easier said than done, I'm sure. That's either a spy or I hit someone else, I honestly can't tell. My sentry's a bit out of position here, that guy's going to get backstabbed if I don't know anything about it, and I couldn't. And my tele's being sapped by a red tape recorder from the other end. So that's fucking obnoxious, because the red tape recorder is an overpowered piece of shit. Everybody really should learn to hate it. So I'm going to put the exit there and hope for the best. So the red tape recorder is incredibly obnoxious, and it's one of like 9 banned weapons, which is banned for a good reason. Scout's harassing my shit over there. He's dead. Demo up there as well. Spy on the left. Just observational, my team isn't coming back to me because I've lost my telly, so I'm just going to back up this hill and potentially rescue Ranger out and do a... How are you so quick? Why? Grab this and go. Because it's getting too risky and there's too many spies. So the dispenser got completely shredded for obvious reasons, but sometimes it's better to save the gun. For some reason that was taking metal. Fix it with the rescue ranger, get the dispenser up here. We still have first, but I'm not going to move it forward because it's too risky. I'm going to help this engineer because it builds twice as quick with the swinging. He doesn't know that, I don't think. So I've got a level 3 here. I'm going to go put my entrance down, I think. The team's going to be auto-balanced apparently. That was some of the first defense, but the problem with that is that the telly got sapped right at the start and there was nothing I could do about it because it's the red tape recorder, so I ended up with a level 1 very quickly. I could have kept it as a level 1, but I didn't see the point. You stopped trying to backstab me. See, I could do with a team who's actually paying attention right now. One of the better things you can do for a sentry that's being sapped is knock the sapper off once and then repair it again. It's getting spammed from the left here. Oh, this is going to go down if that power pays any attention, which he's not doing. So I get to keep the gun up for now. I'm going to move this back to second because it's getting a bit too risky. The pile of rescue ranger bolts, they're blue for some reason. That was an engineer shooting at me. So I've kept this gun up the entire time here by defensively backing out when I need to. I don't know what happened to our team. I think we've got a sentry. Yeah, the other guy built a level 3, I think, around the corner. Hello, asshole. So he's knocked it down to level 1 because he's a dick and uses the red tape recorder. So there's not much I can do about that. The red tape recorder is just impossible to counter because lol, it's a sapper that de-levels your buildings in like 2 seconds, and there's not much you can do in that situation other than hit it once and try and kill the spy. And I'm using the rescue ranger because it's a utility weapon and it's arguably better when I probably should be using the shotgun. But you do what you can. That's already level 3 again because the dispenser was up and had a bit of metal in it, which is useful. So this is sort of your standard hold. I'm just watching the kill feed to see who's coming. He's now gone demo. I think it was Soul Brother. If he knows what he's doing, he'll probably spam it from the window. The pyro up on the left bats there. It's stuck up there for now. Probably come back up there though. Here comes the stickies. So you just tank with the Wrangler. And he's just going to keep spamming them out. So shoot them away with the rescue range or the Wrangler. And the team's just going to ignore them, so you're just going to keep tanking for now. Keep the Wrangler up, reload. Problem with this is that it doesn't shoot by itself. He's got bored and run off, I think. Just watching for them stickies. Scout down, the stickies are coming back because no one's got up there. I'm just going to keep Rescue Ranger and blocking, and there was a guy on top of my dispenser. With a red tape, of course. And that's being de-leveled very slowly now. Which is going to be great fun. I hope that pyro's running the home wrecker. Nope, he got backstabbed. See, this is the flaw with a poor team. NG right now is probably not really that viable, and everything's been destroyed. You have to get the telly as well, don't you? You know what? No. I'll take those points. His problem is now there's no sentry covering the point, and that gives them a free run at it. Try and get a level 1 up here potentially and move it into position. I don't think it's going to be ready in time though, and they've got a heavy on it. Nope. This might be just a temporary hold here. Get a level 2 up, move it in, do a bit of a... There's no time for a dispenser, dude. Just get a... Oh god, here come the stickies already. He died. Cool. Just get a level 2 up because it does decent damage. Their spawn's just around this corner now, so I'm doing a very aggressive forward hold here. Of course there's a supply. Okay, that's time to get out. Leave the dispenser, there's no point picking it up because it's building and it'll take far too long. Of course you're sapping my dispenser. So this current pub has a lot of spies in, and there's that guy with the unusual, but he can't do all that much. There's only one guy, and if he dies I'm completely exposed. See here I'm completely out of metal, I'm very tempted to go back to spawn, but they've got the cart moving with ×5, which you don't need, but I'm just going to do a very usual hold, because they're already up here as you can tell. That guy's going off the cliff.
We need a dispenser right here. Go, go, go.
You should go get the health really. Do sentry first because I need it to be level 2.
Move them out.
Sentry's level 2, decent coverage of the point. Not great, but better than nothing. So I have to wrangle her. There's a heavy on the left with crits. Rockets are hitting it, but buildings are immune because buildings are cool. Another engine's upgrading the dispenser, which is nice of him. Now we've got to watch for heavies and snipers here. Scout dead. You've got to try and cover the cart track the best you can. The heavies, the bullet damage because of the recent nerf. The sentry bullet damage is kind of shit. And the gun was upgrading, so that gets the targets to walk in. So I just let the sentry free fire. No metal. Spies on top of it. You can see here this is a rather fevered panic defense because the team wasn't here. Soldiers on the left, that's one of the hardest areas to cover. There's a heavy on the right there. Trying to keep it back against the wall here to prevent being backstabbed. Trying to get rockets in that left area, but it's very difficult. No point getting a tally up, really. Keep the metal. Heavy on the cart, as you can see. He only took 8 because of the bullet nerf. It'd be nice if it was doing 16 like it used to, but it's not. Trying to hit him with rockets, he's just juking around it. Unless someone covers the point, which that soldier hopefully will. He'd get better to free fire. Deal with that soldier. Nope. And they got it because no one decided to kill the heavy. It's a difficult spot to hold third. I will fall back to fourth momentarily if a spy comes along or anything like that. However, an aggressive hold is something they won't expect to some extent. I keep wrangling this a little bit too much. We've got an 8-minute defense here. This is going to be a hard fought. Scout almost died, but bullet damage again, I think. He fell off the cliff. He's got a guy on the left there.
You're all right, Doc. Gotta move that gear up.
Scout running in front of it again. Soldiers gonna spam it out for a bit. Took 60. That'll force him back to health. There's a heavy now, which is more of a problem. He's dead. That's an Uber pop on their team. A sniper shooting it from either on the cart track or the lower. I think he's on the cart track next to the rescue range vault. Snipers everywhere, as you can see. They're going to do charge shots on it, which is going to be very difficult to keep it up. Keep it up with the Wrangler until team could deal with it. Let it free fire for a bit. Back to the Wrangler. I think we got spy. No, I don't think so. It's all about swapping between the free fire and the Wrangler for the shield. I can't keep this up for much longer. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is an interesting spot, don't know how viable it is. I'm not going to bother with the tally up there because it's too risky at the moment. I'm going to get myself up here. I'm leaving my dispenser out there as a healing point for my team. Potentially they can do a bit of preemptive holding. It's probably unlikely though. There's an engineer building in our upper area. Hit him for 60, as you can see. He's going to try and get the health kit, which he's going to get. Oh no, he's running past it. This is potentially very rough in a minute. I'm going to hit my loadout, which is on C. Nope, I just blew up my own sentry. Whoops, it's on B. I blew up my own sentry by swapping to a loadout that I have bound. It's one of the better things you can do in spawn is hit that button you particularly bound it to. I can show how to do that if it needs must, but I don't know how popular it is going to be. So. That's all. So, yeah, swap and you get a full 200 metal. It's quicker than going to the supply cabinet, if only slightly. The soldier's already spamming the gun out like an asshole, and it goes down because sentries only have 180 health. This is the problem that I've said with holding the stairwell. If nobody does that, it's very difficult to keep the gun up, especially when it's so low leveled. Get the 200 metal again. And it's down again because no one's holding that stairwell still, so you just keep building it and hope Pyro goes up there and deals. Grab the metal around the gun, get yourself a little bit extra upgrade and more metal in reserve. I'm going to hang out by this sentry for now until that area is a bit more clear. Taking the classic corner defense. It's very difficult to keep a level 1 up against soldiers. There's a Pyro on the far left, as you can see. They probably try and hit with a flare. Cam angler's not a bother. I should use this time really to go and get more metal, but odds are someone else is going to come out. Use this time to get more metal quickly. So it's still mopping up the kills. And then a lock and load shot comes up here and completely destroys you. Yep, that's the life of the level 1 sentry. Kill the invisible spy. There's a heavy up there now. This is becoming less and less more viable to build up there because it's being focused so hard. This is probably the part where I'd swap off engineer, to be honest. But I'm going to keep trying. They've got a telly up there, that's the problem. There's a heavy down below, as you can see. This level 1 should deal with them, hopefully. I'm just going to keep this up best I can, let it shoot freely and rescue ranger when needed. As you can see, it's nearly covered the point, but I need a teammate. There we go. We managed to hold that for now. This guy disguised as a heavy, which is somewhat rare and weird. Oh god, I didn't swing twice. Yeah, I fucked up. I've got 130 metal exactly, and it's going to go down here because soldiers. I'm probably going to build down here, or attempt to do like a last minute defense of this corner. Odd spot I know, but it's a temporary fix to covering the cart. That's all I need to do. And of course the soldiers are just going to sit in that window and spam it out because no one's getting forward. And it's down again. This is the part where you either go mini sentry or swap off the class altogether. So 3 dominations, nearly at the top of the scoreboard, but it doesn't matter because they have soldiers in the upper area. It's virtually impossible to cover that. Unless you have teammates that go up there. As you can see, they did a lot better than we did by score. So 42, 12 assists, 12 deaths, 14,000 damage, that's not bad. So that was Upward, an attempt at defending it. If you have better teammates who cover that stairwell, you will do perfectly fine with those sentry spots, and it's a case of getting up level 1s and level 2s as quick as possible. You didn't really get to see that. Barnblitz will come another time.